Hello everyone, welcome to the Valores Learning Center YouTube channel. I'm Mark Entrata, 47 years old, first degree black belt under the legendary Professor Cobrinha Charles, who will be here on July. So better be ready. But anyway, I've been doing jiu-jitsu for over 24 years, so I've pretty much seen everything. Oh God, I hope I have. Because anyway, so I'm here to discuss something very important. It doesn't matter if you do jiu-jitsu or not. First of all, I really appreciate people who subscribe to this channel who don't even do jiu-jitsu. That's really awesome. And that also means that you're learning something from the videos here. And I'm pretty sure you guys are going to get something from this episode also. So what's this episode about? It's about the difference between being humble and being humbled. Okay? Especially in jiu-jitsu or martial arts. Why? Because in martial arts, there's this belief or common belief or understanding that it should bring you some type of discipline, honor, etc. All the great stuff or all the martial values. And ideally, yes, it should. But what people also don't understand now is it is also a sport. So a lot of people and even a lot of teams, academies, groups, they don't care about that part anymore. They look at jiu-jitsu as a sport, so they don't really care about values that much and character improvement and whatnot. It is what it is. So it could be very misleading when people think that, or a lot of people will be disappointed when they find out someone who does, especially a black belt, who is very arrogant, and because they're like, oh, shouldn't martial arts teach you humility and what? See, it's a very complex and nuisance situation. And I just wanted to use the word nuisance so I would sound smart. Anyway, so let's discuss what is the difference between being humble and being humbled. Okay, the main difference is this: being humble, you can only truly be humble if you're coming from a position of power or a higher level. While being humbled means you have no choice but to be humble. And this is something a lot of people get confused with. Now, I'm gonna, of course, make an example so it becomes a little bit easier to understand. I'll tell you a story about this guy that I know. I wouldn't even call him a friend because friend is a very deep word that I use. So I know this person. I've known him for decades already. So we're in a social group. I'm in a social group with this dude. Let's just call him Honda Guy. So Honda Guy would always brag about his car, the upgrades that he made, even if, let's say, we were talking about, I don't know, best desserts in Manila. I'd be like, oh, for me, it's probably like Chibo. One of the best would be Chibo's tiramisu. That's it. And he would go, oh, I remember one time I went to Quezon City because my car, I had this 50,000 sound system put on my car and installed in my car, blah, 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 blah. Oh, and I passed by this place. It has a very good halo-halo. I'm like, okay, we got it. So this guy's always like that, man. Even on social media, that's why I unfollowed him. But for some reason, some of our friends just keep getting screenshots of his posts and keep sending them to me. I'm like, bro, come on. I only follow winners. There's a reason why I don't follow this guy. But anyway, so, but once in a while, so I hardly see this person. I probably see him like once every year, once every 2 years, out of social obligation. Next, the thing is, once in a while, there's also another person that we know who has a lot of luxury sports cars. Sports cars, like, man, you name it. Porsche, Ferrari, Lamborghini, he has them all. I mean, of course, he can afford those things because he does something illegal. So that's not so. No, I'm just kidding. This dude has been rich since he was a kid. It was his parents who were doing something illegal, nothing. He just, no, again, no, I'm just kidding. I'm just checking if you guys are still paying attention. No, legit businessman. I mean, some people really are just born rich. Okay, but anyway, It's funny because every time that guy is around, Mr. What did we call him? Honda? Or, yeah, Mr. Honda wouldn't talk about cars when Mr. Ferrari's there. So sometimes I'd be like, hey man, why don't you tell Mr. Ferrari what you did to your Honda? Ah, no, no, that, bro, no, no, nothing. Oh, no, it's just a Honda. You know, now he downplays everything. But then again, after that, when we go our separate ways, now he starts bragging again about it. I know it's one way, it's one thing to be proud of what you, but then it also comes to a point where people can kind of guess if you're really just, I don't know, really just boasting to people. Oh, because this dude also posts the price and how much it costs and stuff like that. So I'm like, yeah, that's pretty much boasting. So that also happens a lot in social media with the whole humble and being humbled kind of thing. Because in social media, especially in the comment section, there's no filter. There's no accountability. So now everyone can bash anyone. You see some of the ugliest dudes bash some of the best looking people in the world. Okay, why? Because they have that power. They have that option. But in reality, these people won't even be in the same room. They won't even be in the same room for them to criticize. Oh, you're ugly. No, you're probably outside waiting for, I don't know, your boss or something. That's the difference. See? Being humble is something that you have no control over. Being humble, yeah. Here's my super quick jujitsu story. I remember when I was a white belt. Now, I was pretty arrogant. I was young. I was in my 20s. So I remember one time I really, like pretty much beat up this guy. But he's my friend. It's like he's one of my jujitsu friends. So we're pretty close. So I beat him up. Yeah. Then after class, in the locker room, I just went up to him and I said, TPY 982. And everyone was like, even he was like, yo, what's up? I'm like, that's my plate number. I just ran all over you, brother. So everyone laughed. Why? Because I won. I had them. But whenever I would get my butt kicked by someone else, I'm not in a position to do that. I'm always the, hey man, that armbar you caught me in, man, that was awesome. Hey, that was amazing. Why? Because I couldn't be like PPY98. They'd be like, dude, get the hell out of my face. So you guys get it? There's a big difference being humble and being humble. I was being very arrogant because I could. But then whenever I get my butt kicked, I'm like this. And some people get away with this for far too long, even to the point that they actually get their black belts. Okay, so what are some of the things that will expose fake humility? Well, first one is if they finally achieved something. See how their body language would change. See how they talk after that. We've seen this so many times. Like the dude just won, I don't know, like a small regional tournament or won some tournaments. And now all of a sudden, like, when do I get paid? Or where's my sponsorship? Bow to me, peasant. Like, dude, relax. You won a tournament that, in the grander scheme of things in Jiu Jitsu, no one cares about. It's not the worlds that you won, it's not the Europeans. Bro, it's a blue belt tournament. Only 3 people joined, and you barely won that one. See? But see, their character gets exposed. So now you see, oh, but he used to be like a cool guy. He used to be a very, oh. Next is when they're given some type of power. Because now they have options that weren't available before. Now that they have power, they have a position. Now you'll see how they talk to the people who are ranked lower than them. And this is also what I've observed. why some people want to get promoted to the next belt. Because if they're in a community or in a jiu-jitsu culture or even like a business culture where the higher ups can get away with certain things that the lower people can't, that's one of their motivations to get promoted, to get to the next level. It's the perks thing. So now you'll see, oh man, this guy was never humble at all. Again, he just didn't have a choice but to be humble at that time. Here's one of the things I realized: time, yes, time is your best ally when it comes to exposing those people with fake humility. Because eventually, a wolf, they can wear that cheap clothing all they want, but eventually that wolf is gonna get hungry. So now, does that make sense? Now, here's another thing why I personally admire Cobrinha. Because, of course, through the years, I really started becoming more self aware with my arrogance and that I need to be, be more humble. But it was really meeting Cobrinha that changed everything. Because, sure, I've been hearing stories from Dino, one of our students who has been trained with him that time. Corbin is really an awesome dude. But of course, those were still just stories. So when I finally met him 2016, I spent 1 week with him. We spent one, and man, how he was treating the security guards, how he was talking to everyone, white belts, blue belt, even the black belts who went to his seminars. He was very humble. Talked to them the way he talked, the way even when he was answering some of my questions, I remember asking him, "Oh, but who's like your toughest role in Alliance?" And he just gave everyone their flowers. Like, wow. He never mentioned, "Oh, but this guy I beat, the guy I choked." No, no, no. It's like wow. And that's why I got even more inspired to be really more aware and really do my best to be very humble. Of course, there's still moments of weaknesses, but I do my best. And it's because of Cabrina. And because prior to that, I've met other black belts, some with big names, some, like, especially, I remember like one particular black belt. I'm not gonna name him. I'm not even gonna copy his voice because it's gonna be, that's him. Super obvious. But man, the dude wasn't very humble. He was actually very diva like, very, uh, I was like, oh, so, I kind of thought a lot of black belts were like that, and because I've also met other black belts who aren't even known. Okay, they're just black belts, and the way they would act is like they're some type of superstar, and so that's when I really saw how different Karina is, and that really inspired me to be more humble. Because if someone who has achieved that much already in the sport that I love, then I should be more like him because there's zero chance I could achieve even one fourth of what he has in the competition scene. So I figured maybe at least as a human being, I could come close. So now, what are the advantages of being genuinely humble? And this is probably the best takeaway you all can have on this. I know this video is again quite long. And the first one is you will reach your goals a lot faster because you will be seeking help from people who are better than you. A person who genuinely isn't humble will just learn enough and really think that, oh, I know everything already. I don't need this guy's help. I don't need that guy's help, blah, blah, blah. But if you're really serious about getting better, you really have to humble yourself. And it's hard, man, because we all have egos. But if you're really into self improvement, really wanting to be the best version of yourself, you have to work with people who are much better than you. And with humility, great people that you will meet along the way will help you. They will continue to help you achieve your goals. Why? Because humble people are always likable people. Again, there's false humility. Later on, these again will be exposed, but genuinely humble people, a lot of people want to work with them. A lot of great other humble people would love to work with them. Another advantage of being humble is that you don't need to prove yourself all the time, and that's why I think the having the whole alpha male mindset is the dumbest thing that anyone can have, because with the alpha you have to prove that you're the best. You're always correct. You're always, oh, it's always my way, man. That's why a lot of people never get to the next level, never get to the highest level. And what I've observed is that what these people do once they reach a certain level is, since they don't want to help, they don't want the help of other people, etc., because it makes them look weak. What they do is they just talk crap about the other people. Yeah, they're like, oh, that guy sucks, man, because they can't level up anymore. So the best way to keep their status is to make sure that no one comes close. And one of the things that they do that is they really just pull other or push other people down. And what's also great with humility is this, with being genuine humble, is that you shouldn't, and one of the reasons why you shouldn't be afraid, they're not afraid to fail, is because they know that even if they fail, people will always be there to help them get back up and support them. Unlike if you're arrogant, let's say, let's have the example of GSP and Conor McGregor. When George St. Pierre lost, no one made fun of him. No one was like, you suck. Yeah. It's the same with, let's say, Ronda Rousey and Holly Holm. When Holly Holm lost, no one was, good for you. I mean, of course, there will always be few haters, and these are really just people with sad lives. Okay. But anyway, unlike Conor McGregor and Ronda Rousey, they were so arrogant that when they lost, people rejoiced. And not a lot of people wanted to see them back up. Why? Because they've seen the person already. Like, why am I going to help this person, this arrogant person who always fights? I'm now talking about people in general who are arrogant. Like, why would people want to help you be back on top again? They've seen what you do when you're on top. You're arrogant. You think you're the best. You think, ugh, you look down on people. You only become humble when, like you lose, or you lost everything, or you're put in. So not a lot of people will want to see you succeed again. So how can jujitsu make you humble? Because the question is, can jujitsu make you humble, or should it make you humble? Well, just like with everything else, yes, anything can make you humble. Doesn't matter if it's jujitsu, basketball, school. It's really up to you. Now, it's easier to develop to become more humble if you're in the right culture, because culture will really play a big part. Because I've also seen the other side of this, where people used to be humble now, but they were placed in a culture where being arrogant is the way to do it, and the culture is just really a little bit different, and they're all about, oh man, whatever. Now, like, what happened to this guy? He used to be like super cool. Culture plays it. Now, does it guarantee that you'll become more humble? No. Again, it's still up to you. But at least your chance. It doesn't guarantee you, but the likelihood that you'll become more humble if that's the culture you're in is going to be very, very high. So, yes, it's a nuisance answer. And I just wanted to use the word nuisance. So, thank you so much for watching. I know, again, this is such a long video. I hope you had fun. Thank you so much. If you made it up to this point, wow, comment below. I think, like, what, three, four. Let's break the internet and let's have 10 comments from different people just to see. Because you guys are awesome. Because you made it up to this point and you actually watch them. So remember, let's have fun. Let's stay safe. Let's train jiu-jitsu until we are 99. And It would be awesome if you can. If you haven't yet, subscribe to this channel, and we'll see you guys on the next video. Os.